Honorable viewers, welcome to my YouTube channel Department of English. Today I am going to discuss Tragedy and the Whole Truth, written by Aldous Huxley. So let's get started. So what's the topic today? Yes, the difference between tragedy and the whole truth. So let's get started again. Aldous Huxley, 1894 to 1963, a great literary critic, highly individualistic writer, and a major modern essayist, shows the difference between tragic literature containing partial truth and the non-tragic literature containing whole truth. In his masterpiece essay, Tragedy and the Whole Truth, here he also shows the superiority of the whole truth over the tragedy. Now, we are going to discuss the difference between tragedy and the whole truth in details. In order to know the difference between tragedy and the whole truth, we are at first to know what the truth is. We generally find two types of truth. First, one is actual truth and another one is literary truth. To Huxley, 2 and 2 makes 4, where Queen Victoria came to throne in 1837, or light travels at the rate of 18,700 miles a second is the example of actual truth. But in literature, we may not find such kind of truth. A literary truth is far different from the practical truth. After reading an incident of a literary work, it may raise in your mind, oh, it is similar to my experience, or it may have happened in my life. Further, to Huxley, good art possesses a kind of super truth, is more probable, more acceptable, more convincing than fact itself. For example, we may feel that, as writer says, quote, "This is what I have always felt and thought, but have never been able to put clearly into words, even for myself." Now let us discuss the tragedy. In fact, in contrast with wholly truthful art, tragedy gives us only a partial truth. As writer remarks that, quote, "Tragedy is an arbitrarily isolated eddy on the surface of a vast river that flows on majestically, irresistibly around beneath and to either side of it." In order to make a tragedy, the artist must isolate it, a single element out of the totality of human experience. Huxley believes that tragedy distills its material from the whole truth, and this fact gives the tragedy chemically purity, which makes it quicker in its impact on the readers and gives the power of catharsis. But Huxley also believes that its impact is less lasting than that of a novel containing whole truth. Moreover, the tragedian is not independent to depict all the incident of a character life. For example, Shakespeare could not have depicted any incident for Desdemona, like Fielding could express the scene for Sophia with the fall from her horse. On the other hand, the whole truth deals with the whole part of the human life. Sometimes it may express tragic event, but it does not become so-called tragedy. Huxley's conception of the whole truth can best be understood by the reference to Homer. He refers to an incident in the Odyssey, in which Odysseus, the hero, loses some of his fellow sailors who are devoured by the monster Scylla before their very eyes. They had nothing to do but cook at helplessly. Homer does not treat this incident tragically but prefers to tell the whole truth. So we afterwards say that the sailors shed tears in the memory of their departed friends only after they have enjoyed an expertly cooked supper, and which they mourn for their friends they gently fall off into sleep. If a tragic writer had wrote this incident, he would have concentrated on the morning only, and would not have referred either to meal or to mourners falling asleep. Homer gives us the whole truth because, as the writer says, quote, he knew that even the most cruelly bereaved must eat, that hunger is stronger than sorrow, and that his satisfaction takes precedence even of tears. Huxley refers to another scene from a non-tragic literature, Fielding's Tom Jones, a novel in which Sophia, heroine of the novel, was lifted by an innkeeper from her horse. But the foot of the innkeeper slipped and he fell down. Consequently, she fell on the top him, and the brief and partly gleam of Sophia's charming posterior was revealed before the bumpkins at the door. Huxley further claims that if Desdemona of the tragedy or Othello had faced some incident as Sophia did this kind of incident, she must have lost her place of heroine of the tragedy, because all of the main characters of the tragedy must be chemically pure. At last, we can say that the purpose of both tragedy and the whole truth is to depict the human life. As tragedy is restricted by some rules and regulations, it is unable to bring out every aspect of human life. But non-tragic literature can do it well. Therefore, it is obvious that tragedy, the partial truth, has much difference from the whole truth. Yes, so that's all about today's topic, tragedy and whole truth. For the time being, thanks for your patience hearing.